Viewers inside the country and around the globe, welcome to SATV's International Affairs Special Edition. My name is Rashid Kanchan. I'll be as your host, and I have a very distinguished panelist today, one of the very senior and popular lawyer from our Judiciary Department, Advocate Mohsin Rashid, who is very famous and popular for his very constructive criticism inside the government, inside politics. And we have our regular international affairs commentator Shamsul Alam Pantho, and of course we will have our Washington connection, Mr. Norman. He is a peace negotiator and he works for SATV as Washington correspondent. First, let me know from our international affairs commentator Shamsul Alam Pantho, there are so many things happening around the globe, especially in United States, Middle East, South Asia. What are you going to pick today for discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Kanchan. A very good afternoon to you and a warm welcome to Advocate Mohsin Rashid. Good afternoon to our viewers as well. In terms of international affairs, let me give you the top three that I've picked out today. In a severe flash flood, dozens have been killed. The death toll is now at 51 people in Texas. Aside from that, Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky discuss air defense in joint production over a phone call. And Hamas says it submitted positive response to mediate on Gaza ceasefire proposal. And alongside that, Japanese manga predictions of an earthquake affects the tourism industry in Japan as well.
So there are many important issues that you have picked for today's discussion. I just want to go to Advocate Mohsin Rashid. I really like the way he talks, the way he criticizes in a very constructive method. He's a very experienced lawyer and professional. Sir, I just want to know what is your opinion, how the world order is going on, because we have seen so many changes in current weeks. Donald Trump has signed a big beautiful bill. As his language, he says big beautiful bill, but inside America there are divides. Elon Musk has started a new party, America Party, and he says he will engage young generation and he will change the inside politics, domestic politics of America, engaging youths and professionals. What would be your comment?
Thank you for having me here. In as much as Elon Musk is concerned, I congratulate him for floating a new party. I think that's a good initiative that he has taken. America needs changes, because what we are experiencing is that it is a global leader, but at the same time they have gone out of their senses, the Republicans, absolutely out of their senses. They have become more or less stooges or slaves of the current president, so which is changing the entire world order. For instance, we all have seen what happened in this 12-day Iran-Israeli war. That has changed the dynamics of Middle East. You see, he goes on a trip, takes lots of gifts, arranges business deals for himself and his family, comes back, and he also takes the $450 odd million of aircraft from Qatar. So then he all of a sudden enters the war by attacking Iran, and he has used the buster bombs of over 30,000 pounds each, and he has dropped almost 14 bombs of 30,000 pounds in 3 places in Iran, in the hope that he is going to liquidate the Iranian nuclear program. Very unfortunate. But he has no word to say about the Israeli nuclear program. Israel has already enriched its uranium and other things and has got bombs. Quite a few of them are there with them, nuclear heads. You see, Kennedy gave his life because he did not like what Israel was doing. And when Ben Gurion was the Prime Minister of Iran, Kennedy gave a notice, verbal and written, to Israel and asked them that by such and such date he would like to know whether there is a program. He even sent inspectors from the United States, but they hid their program and nothing could be done. Then Ben Gurion, since he could not kill Kennedy, what he did was he resigned as the Prime Minister. And the next gentleman who came, he was again given a written notice by August or something that you should do this. That gentleman used Mossad to kill Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy was killed based on this nuclear program of Israel. But still, we do not know whether it's the American government which rules America, or it's the Israeli government which rules and administers the United States. So when Netanyahu asked him to bomb, he went and bombed. And he said he has obliterated the whole nuclear program. It's finished, it's done. So, but then, why don't you allow? Iran has allowed all journalists in Tehran and other places, they are free. Israel does not even allow CNN to be there, to go and visit the places where they have been hit hard. So what has happened now is that in the Middle East, everybody has understood that it is a power which is invincible. It cannot be.
I just want to take a question for Mr. Norman. Norman, can you hear us? And you have hearing, you have heard that what very senior lawyer, Advocate Mohsin Rashid says. He is confused. America's capital is Washington DC or Tel Aviv. Kind of indication that, Mr. Norman, United States dropped bomb in Iran nuclear sites by the request of Tel Aviv. So, do you think United States is controlled by Tel Aviv in some aspects?
Good morning from Washington, D.C. And again, I want to send my condolences out to the families, friends, and the people of Central Texas who have lost their lives during this natural disaster. We are very concerned. The numbers are changing as we speak. Regarding this natural disaster. Prayers to the families. Regarding my trusted colleague's comment regarding the United States and Israel, Washington is still the capital. Israel is still heavily influencing what we do in the Middle East. They a Western mindset and what we want to do globally. But the influence of Israel is obvious. They have a very impact on what's going on in the world. But I still believe that Washington, the administration, is utilizing that presence over there for their own agenda. There's an agenda that's going on as part of a global agenda to enhance economic development worldwide. And the key to that is utilizing Israel to make things happen over there. However, Israel is causing a lot of havoc in the area, and people are not accepting this. Their tactics, the way they are approaching the Middle East is something that has to be readjusted. So currently, right now, they're looking for outlets and solutions for that.
Mr. Norman, I want to do one more question to you. Elon Musk launches America Party, making a direct political challenge to President Donald Trump and targeting key congressional races, a move that could reshape the upcoming 2026 legislative dynamics. What is the impression of the American people and voters regarding Elon Musk, his moves, his relationship with Donald Trump, which was very sweeter, now it is very bitter? What is your comment on that?
Yes, the relationship between the two gentlemen is very torrid, very volatile. It's a love-hate type of relationship. The interest of the new third party is something that's very intriguing. This is something that has always been, me personally, a question of we need options. Not everybody's left, not everybody's white or right. The third party brings in another option for people who do not want to be, let's say, democratic. At the same time, they want a more business-minded republic, but they don't believe in everything with Magna and these other things that the Republicans do. So this is good for America. People always need options. There's a lot of people, believe it or not, who will praise this, will enhance this and embrace it.
So people are America happy that they have got a new party. I just need a counter opinion from our international affairs commentator. See, America has a history of 200, almost 90 years. They have got two parties, Democratic and for the conservative, I mean Republicans. Republicans are conservative, Democrats are little bit liberal, but they all are Americans. Now a new businessman who was born in South Africa came to America as immigrant. He has become the richest person on the planet. He started working with Donald Trump, a very conservative leader. Now he has started a new party. What do you think American political reshaping is going on?
Well, thank you for your question, Mr. Kanchan. Of course, before Elon Musk had launched this new America Party, he was working for the Department of Governmental Efficiencies, DOGE, for a period of 6 months. So the period had ended and Donald Trump was seen giving Elon Musk a key for his contributions to the current government. Of course, the spat grew as Elon Musk does not meet eye to eye with several of Donald Trump's policies. And of course, the attack on Iran is one of those issues that most American households are definitely encouraging about. I'll give you an example. Tucker Carlson, he's a broadcaster from America. He was also working at Fox News. He was seen releasing a video where he would want to interview the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian. So this comes to show that American households deserve and have the absolute right to understand why the leader of their country is taking hostilities towards Iran. And this is how definitely Americans have the right to know that. And that comes in now. This morning we just hear Elon Musk having his own America Party. It's called America Party. So before we find out what kind of socio-democratic policies the party is going to have, it definitely will take some time before we can understand which part of the political consensus this party will fit into.
Thank you, sir. I want to turn a subject. Sir, you have seen the 12 days war. Iran was alone. Iran was fighting alone with Israel, and this is the first time in the history of almost 90 years that some country from Arab, far from 2,300 miles, has dropped a bomb on Tel Aviv, Jerusalem and some other places like Haifa. My question is, when Israel started to seek for negotiation, United States dropped a bomb in Iran. That means United States and Israel fought against Iran. Iran was alone. Do you think this 12 days war has given confidence to the Arab country? Yes, putting bomb in Israel is possible. Iran made it possible. So Iran won this 12 days war. What are you going to say?
You see, Israel is not invincible now. It's invincible. I mean, that's what this war has shown. Iran has actually opened the eyes of the entire Muslim world. I will not say so much the Muslim world, I will say the Arab world.
Arab world.
The unfortunate part has been that, please understand that it was Iran which has been supporting Hamas and the Palestinians. Although they are Sunnis, Iran is Shiite, but it is this Shiite government which has all through been supporting the Palestinian cause.
Right.
Not for a moment it is tethered. It was there, it is there, it will continue to do it. We also have been supporting this cause, and if you remember, General Zia was the chairman of that little committee that was formed after OIC meeting. So, Iran has come out successful. If Israel thinks that nothing has happened to them, then let them open Tel Aviv, Haifa and Jerusalem for everybody to go and see. Let all the broadcasters go and
Yes.
see that. You see, it has been destroyed badly. Iran has not been destroyed so badly. But Tel Aviv, Haifa, you see Haifa port is gone, their Ben Gurion airport is gone,
Yes.
their nuclear, their scientific research and so many other things which they were doing is all gone, it's bombed, finished. They'll have to rebuild all this if they want to. In as much as why America did this, you see, they are fools. The Americans are fools. They are fools because they thought if we drop these bombs, Iran will go on its knees, just as the Japanese went when the atom bomb was dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, they drew this inspiration from that if I do this, then they come down to their knees, will finish their program, and in the Middle East there will be only one nuclear country, which will be
Israel.
Israel. I say from your channel, from your this program, that every Muslim country should get out of the non-proliferation treaty. Every Muslim country should start a missile program of their own, and I am sure America will also be deterred. We will stand. The Pakistanis, the Chinese, the North Koreans and the Russians will stand with every Islamic country for building up their missile programs. So, we must do it, because if we do not do it, then Israel has a plan to come to Mecca and Medina, to take over Medina. This is their program. It is a long drawn program that we will destroy 7 Muslim countries, and they succeeded in destroying 6 countries. And now they will come and say, you see what has happened with the Pakistanis. I think this is important. Can I go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay.
And Norman, please listen to us.
See what happened with the Pakistanis. It is unheard of that a sitting president of the United States will invite an army chief from Pakistan to the Oval Office and on the lunch table. Unheard of. I think there was another Pakistani general who was invited by another president, Kiani or somebody. But anyway, this time he went. Why? Why was he invited? He was invited because he showed his strength. The Pakistan forces, especially the Air Force, showed his strength by fighting a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day war with the Indians. And they 3 Rafales, Sukhoi, MiGs, Mirage were shot down from one end of the international border and the line of control. They bombed everything up to Udhampur and other places. So they thought India is a member of Quads, and very recently you had this Quads foreign ministers meeting in Washington, whatever. So Quads has been defeated. India is not a force which can counter China. That is why, that is the reason that the Pakistani General Asim Munir, now Field Marshal, I don't know why he is a Field Marshal, because he never fought. And if anybody should have got this kind of a title, it should have been the Air Chief of Pakistan. So now, why was he invited? He was invited for 2 or 3 things. One is not to help Iran. One is about Afghanistan. One is, can they have a foothold in Pakistan for their drones? You see these things are, but Asim Munir is not in a position to give him anything. The information that I have is that Asim Munir started off with praising Trump, but Trump understood that this praise is just good for nothing. He's just doing it to get my attention. So Pakistan, if you have strength, you'll be looked. People will look after you. China has that strength, huge strength. North Korea has some strength which can strike the Americans, at least in the western coast, if not in the eastern coast.
So I just want to pick some very powerful words from you to Norman. Mr. Norman, our very distinguished panelist says all Muslim countries should leave the Treaty of Proliferation. If Israel has the rights to protect itself by producing nuclear arms, nuclear arsenal, if America has this right, is Pakistan has this right, is India has this right, Russia has this right, why not other Muslim countries like Iran and other countries will have the right to protect themselves to enrich their uranium projects or nuclear projects? Mr. Norman, do you have answer for this?
My answer is mostly a response. It's ironic that we are talking right now about a situation about the Middle East and the area. We're focusing on Iran, but the whole Arab and Muslim community is unfortunately affected by this. One of the things, lessons learned, is that every country, every person, every republic has a right to defend themselves, protect themselves. That is self-evident. It's not this. How they do it is up to them. Iran is centrally located in the area. It should serve as a instead of a barrier or an isolated area, a bridge. Whatever happens in that region, as we're seeing right now, my colleagues are mentioning, it wakens up the entire Arab and Muslim world. People are not stupid. People seeing what's happening. The unfortunate choices that our country and Israel made about trying to change Iran, change the region through military tactics, subversive activities, and creating internal unrest, actually has backfired. It's not effective. That's why they're talking now, because military might is not going to make it right.
Mr. Norman, I just want
yes.
to get a same comment from our international affairs commentator. You see, that's true that Iran is patronizing its proxies like Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, Iraqi militias, Syrian militias, and recent times we heard some militias in West Bank as well. My question is, when Israel is attacked, they call we are attacked by the terrorist. When Israel killed the militias or a neighboring Muslim country, they call we killed terrorist. My question is, why dual role from United States, NATO, its European allies and Israel, just same problem but two roles from them. Why?
Well, if you look at the IAEA, the atomic nuclear watchdog, they have now stepped out of Iran's nuclear program as well, and Iran had made sure that they are not in a coalition with the IAEA. Regardless, there is an Israeli nuclear program which does not have, there is not much evidence of how many warheads they have. It is not coordinated or looked after by the IAEA itself. The double roles are definitely one that we should take in consideration. When a Muslim nation acquires or has a nuclear warhead, it's often looked at as a threat, firstly from Israel and then nextly from the United States. In another news, let me add on to here, Kabul's Taliban government receives recognition by the Kremlin as the first country to give the Taliban recognition. So, of course, the US has drastically failed in Afghanistan, and as per previous news, you've seen them stepping out and leaving Afghanistan as well. And now this slowly Taliban government is picking up pace in restructuring the country's priority as well. Given this, Iran and Afghanistan is neighboring countries once again, and in the near future, the Taliban government may want to create a nuclear warhead, given that now it's quite prevalent that it annoys and irks the Western establishment. In addition to my answer would be that right now America is in a place where it is imposing a huge bill which is affecting its citizens, and they are not sure if their country will be suffering through another bombardment of Iran's nuclear program. But with the already bombardment of the Natanz, Fordo and other facilities, Isfahan as well, it is safe to say that Iran will now look towards the nuclear warhead much faster than what they were at before.
Sir, what you want to say? Once Taliban has the fight with the Kremlin, I mean Russia, now they become friends, and our international affairs commentator says it's a failure of Washington. Once enemy, now become friends. Is this a new dimension, or is this a new what should I say, dynamics of Russian, Russian movement to Asia?
Well, you see, this has always happened. Today the Americans are good friends of the Vietnamese. They are even good friends of the Cambodians, against whom they had this war, and they ran off. I cannot say whether tomorrow Americans will also be good friends of the Afghans. It cannot be said. That's part of the international politicking. But having said this, yes, Americans have certainly made themselves vulnerable. People around the world, states and nations around the world will not be trusting them anymore. If Trump had stopped the Israelis from what they were doing, situation would have been different. But when they became allies and went and bombed, you see how they bombed this. The night that they were going to bomb, they sent out 2 of these B-2 bombers in another direction. And then there were these 7 B-2 bombers who flew about 32 hours or whatever to bomb Iran at the request of the Israelis. Well, who has created this problem? Iran had signed a treaty with all the countries, including the United States. It was Trump who got out of the treaty, and the treaty collapsed. Whose fault is it? Certainly not the Iranians. And if they come out of IAEA, do not allow them to inspect, I think that's a good thing, because most of them who were working there coming as inspectors were Mossad agents and CIA agents combined. So why should Iran now allow Mossad and CIA agents who have created such devastation in Iran to continue working? There should be no inspection. There's certainly any country like Iran, if I was there, I would also have not allowed them to inspect. Why should they inspect? So question is, who has created the problems? It is Netanyahu and the Americans, be it Biden or be it Trump. They have created this problem. So I would say that whatever is happening in the world is bad. I will also propose through your channel, not only that we should get out of this non-proliferation treaty and IAEA also, but I would further suggest the Islamic countries, all of them, should try to form an Islamic Economic Commission and Islamic common market, so that nobody comes and sits on our head and says that you cannot sell this to them, you cannot do this, I am sanctioning you. Who the hell are you to sanction me? I am an independent and sovereign country. So I will also push, well, I am not an authority, but as an ordinary public, as the president of the Bangladesh Muslim League, I will push that we should have Islamic common market and Islamic commission, so that we work together, we export amongst ourselves, we import amongst ourselves,
Yes, sir.
and make the Islamic nations strong to withstand the Zionist Jews. All Jews are not bad. I love the Jews, they are our cousins. Christians are cousins, I love all of them. But I certainly do not care for the Zionists. I don't like the Rothschilds. I don't like these kind of Zionists. They are the ones who have created all this problem in the world. And of course, if I have to hold somebody responsible, it is the British who did everything. It is the British who created all the problems in this world. Be it Kashmir, be it Palestine, dividing Iraq and Jordan, dividing Syria. It is they who have done all this. Let's go and revisit and see Lawrence of Arabia.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for so many powerful words. Ladies and gentlemen, time has come to go for a short break. When we'll be back, we'll first catch Mr. Norman to respond, Advocate Mohsin Rashid, because he has used so many powerful words against the current situation of the globe, and he has given a nice thought about the Islamic countries to come forward to create a self-platform. And one more question is waiting for Mr. Norman. What is, some commentators are saying Russia has a plan to make several bases in Afghanistan, and that will create a lot of trouble in that region.
ওর আব্বাকে যেহেতু নিজে হাতে জবাই করতে পারেনি অথবা ফাঁসিতে ঝুলাতে পারেনি,
আপনার স্বামীকে নিজে হাতে আপনার ভাইয়ের মতো জবাই করতে পারেনি বা তাকে মারতে পারেনি, অর্থাৎ এই ব্যক্তিটা তাহলে আপনি কাকে বোঝাচ্ছেন? এই মানুষটাকে তাহলে
যে আমার ভাইকে জবাই করেছে তাকেই বোঝাচ্ছি, যে নিজে হাতে জবাই করেছে আমার ভাইকে, সে ছাড়া কি করবে?
সাবেক প্রধানমন্ত্রীর কথাই বলছেন?
জি, অবৈধ প্রধানমন্ত্রী, অবৈধ। ওর আব্বাকে যেহেতু নিজে হাতে জবাই করতে পারেনি অথবা ফাঁসিতে ঝুলাতে পারেনি,
আপনার স্বামীকে নিজে হাতে আপনার ভাইয়ের মতো জবাই করতে পারেনি বা তাকে মারতে পারেনি, অর্থাৎ এই ব্যক্তিটা তাহলে আপনি কাকে বোঝাচ্ছেন? এই মানুষটাকে তাহলে
যে আমার ভাইকে জবাই করেছে তাকেই বোঝাচ্ছি, যে নিজে হাতে জবাই করেছে আমার ভাইকে, সে ছাড়া কি করবে?
সাবেক প্রধানমন্ত্রীর কথাই বলছেন?
জি, অবৈধ প্রধানমন্ত্রী, অবৈধ। ওর আব্বাকে যেহেতু নিজে হাতে জবাই করতে পারেনি অথবা ফাঁসিতে ঝুলাতে পারেনি,
আপনার স্বামীকে নিজে হাতে আপনার ভাইয়ের মতো জবাই করতে পারেনি বা তাকে মারতে পারেনি, অর্থাৎ এই ব্যক্তিটা তাহলে আপনি কাকে বোঝাচ্ছেন? এই মানুষটা কে
যে
তাহলে?
আমার ভাইকে জবাই করেছে তাকেই বোঝাচ্ছি, যে নিজ হাতে
অর্থাৎ-
জবাই করেছে আমার ভাইকে, সে ছাড়া কি করবে?
সাবেক প্রধানমন্ত্রীর কথাই বলছেন।
জি, অবৈধ প্রধানমন্ত্রী, অবৈধ। ওর আব্বাকে যেহেতু নিজ হাতে জবাই করতে পারেনি অথবা ফাঁসিতে ঝোলাতে পারেনি,
Mr. Norman, I said before the break that I will ask you a question that there are commentators saying that Russia has a plan to make several bases in Afghanistan that will create face-to-face conflict in that region. What would be your position on that? And our distinguished panelist says Arab countries or Muslim countries should come forward to create a common platform for their own market and for their own security. Do you have answer for that? You are hearing very attentively to Mr. Mohsin Rashid.
Yes, my initial response is that yes, the Arab and Muslim countries should have their own economic system. It balances out the whole global situation. It makes sense. I need to bring to the table. Everybody need to come to the same table and share what they have. There should never be a situation where one party has more leverage than the other. That's when you have disparity. That's when we have conflict. That's when we have what we have right now. I support regional stability, and that means every country, even Iran, has a right. Their sovereign country have a right to protect themselves. Security. We're looking at you talking about Afghanistan, Iraq, in that area, Russia movements. It's a move. It's a strategic move to balance out the situation. We have a lot of American bases over there. Russia I guess strategy is to checkmate, make sure that, okay, I'm watching you, you watching me, so everything is going to be calm. So now we can talk about what the real issue is. How do we come together and coexist? Military is not the answer, but right now, who has the power? I has the power. So we don't want to get a situation where I can't make correct moves because I'm intimidated about the fear of attack. So I think economic diplomacy is on the table right now. We should encourage that. We should encourage the conversation. We need to talk. We need to encourage trade. We need to work on shared security. We need to be secure so we can coexist.
Mr. Norman, thank you very much for joining from Washington, D.C. I really appreciate your insight, full thoughts and your contribution to our show. I want to come back to Advocate Mohsin Rashid. Times of India has given a news that Pakistan, China and Bangladesh are reportedly planning a new regional bloc possibly aimed to reviving or replacing SARC to counterbalance India's influence. It is a very significant news, and Dawn newspaper editorial notes Pakistan renewed support for SARC, calling on India to rejoin and avoid a fragmented South Asia. You have experience about SARC. You have seen the advantages and disadvantages of SARC. Now India is totally bypassing SARC. India is totally skipping the proposal of reviving SARC. What do you think? India has lost its neighbor, all neighbors, but India is trying to create friendship with South American, Latin American countries. What is your thought about it?
Well, they are most welcome to do what they are trying to do or what they have been doing. But at the same time, this region, South Asia, does not have a working operational regional organization at this point in time. Although even the Africans have, everywhere around the globe, everybody has, the South Americans, the Latin Americans, everybody has. Only we cannot have this regional. It was working very well. SAARC was working very well. And I tell you, they are sending, you see, the system is that Secretary General comes, he is elected alphabetically. Okay, he will come, you will tell who will be this. Now we have a Bangladeshi there as the Secretary General of SAARC. But all other member states and nations, they send in one person as the director. So India is sending that person. It's not that India is not sending, but they will not allow the heads of state to meet. And if the heads of states are not meeting, before that you got to have a council meeting. Council meeting is the foreign ministers will have to meet, because they sit, they do lot of things, setting up agenda for the summit and giving approvals to many things. That cannot be done. That is why SAARC is in a limbo at this stage. But these goofs, the Indian idiots, what they do not understand is, I am sorry because they are idiots, so I call them idiots. Let me call a spade, because if they were and if they allow SAARC to be revived, the SAARC convention will allow them to go through Pakistan to Central Asia. It will be good for their business, but they do not realize this. We have signed, every nation has signed that. For Pakistan it will be a bad thing. So Pakistan should say, to hell with SAARC, I do not want SAARC, I will have bilateral relationship with others or sub-regional relationships, they can do that. So point is, that is why I say what I said, I use the I word for them, because the people of India want it. It is only this Modi government, this most inept, most corrupt government that this South Asian region has ever seen is the Modi government. They are standing in between because they have this anti-Muslim agenda. That is the only thing. I hope that the Indians, people have some sense and they throw this government so that there can be a better, reasonable government in India which can unite South Asia and work together for the prosperity of our people in South Asia, because this is a poverty stricken region and we want to work together to alleviate our people from poverty.
Very good proposal, sir. Shamsul Alam Pantho, our international affairs commentator, I just want to know that Indian Prime Minister's visit to Guyana created some embarrassment for the Prime Minister himself. While he was giving his speech at the Guyanan Parliament, the parliamentarian walked out. How do you see this?
Well, this comes in as the BRICS summit is also taking place. Mr. Narendra Modi is looking for friends elsewhere out of his own surroundings. Of course, you mentioned a regional collaboration between China, Pakistan and of course Bangladesh. India will definitely look towards it as a threat if it's the current administration. Mr. Mohsin Rashid definitely called towards the Indian citizens to allocate a much more globally neutral leader for India, for Indians to be represented towards the entire globe. A couple of stories that I will pick out. You look at Tripura, Manipur, Assam. It has a lot of Muslim populations who were blatantly blamed, and they have been living in those areas as proud citizens of India for generations, and much of them have been pushed in towards Bangladesh, giving them the title that they're illegal foreign immigrants or illegals settled in India. Of course, that is an issue that is still ongoing. We'll definitely have to see what kind of ramifications it has. Definitely in the news when Narendra Modi delivered a speech towards the Ghana people, much of the MPs were seen laughing. Whether at him or with him is the question. Whether it was laughing at him or whether it was laughing with him is the issue right here. But if you look at India in a global perspective, they've attacked Pakistan without sufficient information, just stating that Pakistan harbors terrorist camps. And that is where India had the notion of attacking Pakistan As you know, Bilal Bhutto as well, son of Asif Ali Zardari, he said that this is a new abnormal for India to just blatantly attack its neighbor. And definitely the Kashmir region, the unresolved issues are still there. The Water Sharing Act has no kind of developments. And in the next more or less 6 more months or 5 more months of the year, we'll definitely see some kind of escalation if they continue their current path.
Yes, sir. As you said, there are so many abnormal things going on from Pakistan's, and our distinguished said one word for them. I have a news from Hindustan Times. Very interesting news. A Bengali family, husband, wife and minor child, was deported to Bangladesh from New Delhi despite family claims they are absolutely Indian citizens from West Bengal. The police noted and alleged proper verification. Do you find an indication that India is trying to create problems in the border?
Well, it's the same story that I was mentioning in my previous question on the answer. Of course, India currently is following the ideology of the RSS. It's a situation where they promote Hindutva violence, and of course, Narendra Modi is someone who was known as the butcher of Gujarat. A lot of the Muslims there were removed, if not killed, and much of them, I will give you another example, the father to Zoran Mamdani in America as well, who's leading the NYC primary, mayoral. Even he had condemned Narendra Modi of such of a crime. And even back then when he was accused, before becoming, he was the chief minister of Gujarat, and when he was accused, even the United States had said this man cannot enter the US. So that was definitely changed when India had an election and he was voted into power.
And sir, there is a news from India as well. India's border security force is planning 7 floating outposts in the Sundarbans area to counter terrorist threats reportedly linked to Bangladeshi groups sheltering in remote areas. Action started. Now Bangladesh has to think about it. As we are running out of time, we have got a very veteran lawyer, very reputed lawyer. I just want to draw your attention on Bangladesh legal and political developments. Former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been sentenced in absentia to 6 months jail by Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal for contempt of court over leaked audio involving inflammatory remarks. This is one, I need your comment on that. Another thing is Bangladesh's Attorney General also ruled that anyone convicted by the ICT, individuals or organizations is barred from contesting upcoming elections. These are two breakthrough. One more thing I want to add, sir, from you, because we want to hear from you that what is the standard of our judiciary system according to the true judiciary system in the West or other polite countries.
See, we had a very good judiciary, and the current Chief Justice, Mr. Rifat Ahmed, he is doing his best to recast the judiciary as an independent organ of the state, where there is no influence by the executive. He is working very hard. He has visited all the districts, spoken to all the judges. He is continuously working with them. He is working on a separate secretariat. Well, the difficulty is that the government is slowing him down, because government knows that he's only got up to December, and then he makes way for another Chief Justice. So this government is not, it is supportive, but it is not, it's not trying to hurry things so that things can happen during his year. There might be some problems. I don't know, we as politicians will see if we can extend his term or in some other way or not, but we would like him to continue. I mean, if he could continue for the next 3 years, I think we'll have a very good judiciary. Question is, judiciary is an institution. You need people there to work. You need those brains. You need educated people. If we do not have good educated, if we have third class people who have got third class, they don't have proper merits, then there is a problem for the judiciary to run. Previously it was not so. You see, on the other question of your contempt of court, these are very minor things, these stupid things, again I will say, that they think that having given 6 months the highest punishment for contempt of court, they will keep Sheikh Hasina away. No, 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 no. International politics does not work like this. Geopolitics does not work like this. This is nothing. They went in a hurry. Well, we can all criticize the governments, we can all criticize the courts if they are doing something which is bad. They are not above criticism. Nobody is above criticism in our system. So this, I don't pay much attention to this 6 months, but I am sure judiciary is going to improve. And let me tell you something. When we did not have Masdar Hussain case, when we did not have this from people shouting that we need an independent judiciary, well, we had a very good independent judiciary at one point in time, when we used to call the assistant judges, today's assistant judges, munsifs, because munsif carries a meaning. Munsif means you are the person who is going to do insaf. Now you have equated yourselves with the people in the secretariat, assistant judge, assistant secretary, senior assistant judge, senior. I mean, this is all bogus. We have screwed up the judiciary. We must rethink about all these things if we want to keep the judiciary independent.
Sir, thank you so much. We are running really shortage of time. Otherwise, we would have more questions to this gentleman. He is very vocal on the current system of Bangladesh. I had a very curiosity to ask him a question, sir, if you can answer in 10 seconds. Do you think election is going to be held in time declared by the government?
Straight no.
Answer is no. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to conclude. Before we conclude, I just want to give you two information and to celebrate. The 14th Dalai Lama turns 90 today, spiritual leader and Nobel laureate, born in 1935. We want to wish him happy birthday. And on the other side, George W. Bush Jr., who was the 43rd President of United States of America. He is turning into 79. He was born in 1946. We want to congratulate him also and we want to wish happy birthday. And I will see you tomorrow.